I mean, if vampires in the series sparkle with sunshine, then I'm sure werewolves are like kittens. I know this. Instead, Bella throws herself off a cliff. Because extreme sports make her vampire hallucinate. Edward thinks she's dead and goes to Italy to see the vampire mafia about a sister's drama queen suicide. But Bella stops him just in time. Smyers tries to beat into our heads the story is just like vampire Romeo and Juliet. I suppose that is fair because I thought Romeo and Juliet were stupid too. In the third book, Eclipse, we fall in love with Edward all over again as he rips parts out of Bella's truck so she can't go see her werewolf boyfriend, a romantic gesture of which I haven't seen the likes of since the last time I watched a Lifetime movie. But at least when your boyfriend acts like a dick in a Lifetime movie, you know you'll be chasing him through the woods with an axe sometime in the next 90 minutes. This never happens in Eclipse, no matter how much fan fiction I read. By the time we wrote this, only one movie was out, and now 2 of them have been made, and there was no castration scene in Eclipse, and I was very sad. Seriously, there goes some hard candy. Oh, and there's an evil vampire from back in the first book who's replaced with a different actress, and she's out to kill Bella by making an army of vampires, but she fails and dies. And now that the only danger to Bella is herself, Edward and Bella get vampire engaged! And so we come to the 4th and most controversial book of the series, Breaking Dawn. Some say this book is evidence that the entire series promotes a right-wing, pro-abstinence, anti-choice agenda, as everyone ends up in a heteronormative relationship, and we learn that women just need babies to be happy. If this is true, it's a pretty terrible promotion of that lifestyle. Yes, Bella and Edward wait to have sex until they're married, but the experience leaves Bella bruised and battered, Edward hating himself and wanting to never do it again, and Bella pregnant with a potentially evil half-breed monster baby that literally breaks her body and is delivered via her husband eating open her womb. Oh, and that baby will be physically fully grown at the age of 6 and will marry the dog. If that's what chastity and celibacy are like, I've never been prouder to be a slut.
So about half of our ad-libbing gets you guys to laugh, and the other half bombs miserably. This is why we wanted to take off our pants. Because that would really get you guys laughing. Anyway, since we're on the subject of vampires, Helsing was covered in our last 2 productions of Spoiler the Panel. Why do you guys cheer for Nazis? That's not cool. Go watch Italia. So instead, let's talk about moon phase.
Yeah.
No, not moon face. Moon phase. And I know moon face is a lot cooler. No, he's not. He's stupid. Why are you guys scared? The anime that won Pedophilia of the Year award after Michael Jackson died.
Oh, why? Too soon?
Moonphase teaches us that as long as you're immortal, it doesn't matter if he's 21 and you're 12. Hazuki, our cat-ear-wearing vampire heroine du jour, can go in the sun just fine. She can eat human food instead of sucking blood, even if it's slathered in garlic. Hell, she can even cross running water and is just peachy keen around holy relics. She pretty much fails in every way at being a horrible spawn of darkness. In fact, she's more like a horrible spawn of Chobits. She's the worst example of vampirism since Edward Cullen was the disco ball for his own daytime sparkle rave. The difference is, moon-phase vampires don't sparkle, they wear cat ears. They aren't forced to due to some weird behavioral compulsion rooted in their vampiric nature. They just want to for some reason. This still makes them more terrifying than the vampires from Twilight, and Twilight has just as many creepy pedophiles, if you count falling in love with a fetus. Moonphase tricks you into watching it by mixing demon-fighting ninja action with shoujo so sweet it can give Cookie Monster cavities. Here, just listen to these episode descriptions we took off Wikipedia. Episode 24. Kohei, his grandfather, and the Shrine Maidens chase Hazuki to the Castle of Darkness to confront her evil sister Arte, finding themselves in a battle for their lives which puts the forces of light up against the demonic power of the underworld. Episode 25. Kohei and Hazuki move in together on a magical floating shrine house. And they get their friend drunk while debating whether or not tiny gods wear underwear. Really? Really? The whole anime was really just a bad attempt to try and sell cat ears to schoolgirls, and eventually the anime should be ashamed of themselves. But on a related note, who wants to buy an official pair of DO13 cat ears? And on the subject of cat ears, you know those Saturday nights, those really lonely Saturday nights? When you invite a lady friend over to tie your balls up in elastic bands and step on them while wearing high heels? No? Me neither. Anyway, you also don't know what watching Digikara feels like. No, the show isn't about a digital carrot, as I first thought. It's about super chibi animal girls, which speaks to the fact that... No, go ahead, let that one sink in. Imagine how the anatomy of that would work.
Why would he pronounce it what?
Never mind. Anyway, it's about super cheapy animal girls with speech defects who do things. No, that's it. They do things. No. Okay, listen, you stupid computer. There's no plot. There's no conflict. There's just stupid little cheapy animal girls doing it. Girls doing it. It doesn't even matter what they're doing, as long as it's something a Japanese schoolgirl does on a regular basis. Middle-aged perverts with their balls tied up in elastic will watch this show and splooge all over their Hello Kitty vintage cell phone charms. We don't need to be 18 plus. It's kind of like Seinfeld. You know, if Jerry was a cat girl, and George was a rabbit, and Ellen was an underage boy, and Kramer was my balls getting stepped on. Oh, and Newman? You don't even want to know who Newman is.
Speaking of things that scare children, Ghost Dog. Ghost Hound. Ghost Hound is an anime about three messed up kids from a small town that all learn to astrally project. Using their wondrous newfound powers of astral projection, they leave their bodies behind to look at other parts of their small town. As opposed to kids in other anime that get psychic powers and then kick ass, the kids in Ghost Town use their powers to make themselves more afraid than usual. And given that each of them has some sort of terrible skeleton that's not quite in their closet, this is no easy task. Now we're going to go back to look at the owls some more. Narcoleptic with brain damage, who is haunted by the memory of watching his sister starve to death while tied to a bed. He astrally projects by listening to his crappy homemade radio. So despite being used to horrifying things, Taro would make a terrible Silent Hill protagonist because he passes out every time he hears radio static. Masayuki, who is spooked by that one time he taunted a classmate into jumping off the roof to his death. Oh shit. Masayuki then became afraid of heights, or more specifically, the soul-crushing guilt he feels every time he looks at a building taller than 2 stories. He deals with his fears/astrally projects by playing video games, and he puts his fears to rest by being friends with another kid who's being teased. Masayuki's amazing psychic powers are more or less ineffectual to the plot. Taro's cousin Makoto is haunted by his father's kidnapping Taro and his sister. He astrally projects by playing guitar with headphones on, which kind of makes me wonder what he's playing while he's astrally projecting. Makoto deals with his guilt about his father by convincing his mother to die in a fire. Wait, what? And in the end, all the old hobos come out of the mountains and they exorcise the spirits that dammed up the river. If you're confused by this spoiler of Ghost Town, may I refer you to another series previously written by Shafi J. Kamaka, Serial Experiments Lane. Just figure that one out and you'll totally understand Ghost Town. Now, this is an anime called Shingo, Secret of the Stellar Wars. I'm not sure why it's called that, because the Stellar Wars are over and everyone in their neighborhood knows about them, but what the fuck?
What about
You didn't explain
It's a conjunction. Wait, no.
Actually, it's an article.
You're a conjunction.
I was thinking of an and. Anyway, at least there really is a Shingo, which is the ghost of a ridiculously powerful alien bound to protect Earth for some reason. But never mind that, let's have some soup. And go to a barbecue. And hold a student council assembly. Oh, and let's put all the narrative focus on slice-of-life school stories, but all the conflict in giant robot space combat. So the set of things you care about and the set of things that get resolved are completely disjoint. I do have to admit, though, Shingo has a really good beginning. They introduce the characters, establish the setting, and use a minor enemy to foreshadow the main conflict. Then the series ends. Seriously, I can understand not having the money to finish the story you wanted to tell, but in 26 fucking episodes, you should be able to finish something. There's a love triangle that's never addressed, a mysterious origin that's never addressed, a missing fifth alien hero that's never addressed, and about 6 different psychic superheroes who never get to do anything except glow dramatically. And the whole time you're following the main character who turns out to be as useless as the love child of Krillin and Pikachu.
8 times later, still funny. Speaking of unresolved love triangles, tension. One of the oldest stories in recorded history is a love triangle between a hapless young man, a snooty intergalactic princess, and a rogue space pirate. Or